Hello, my lovely Virgos, and a very warm welcome to your 2021-22 forecast. Of course, everything changed in 2020. And as we move now into 2021, the flavor is a little different. There are some subtle differences. We're still going through a huge transformational period on our planet Earth, as I'm sure you can see, both personally and globally. And the biggest, perhaps most important aspect that permeates this entire year is the square between Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. The square is strongest from February until July, and again in November and December. But nonetheless, all year it is there within a close enough orb for a square aspect. Now, on a global level, this is going to, we're probably going to see the continuance of a lot more riots, people protesting about their freedoms, wanting freedoms, wanting to break out of old structures, protesting mainly with this energy of Saturn in Aquarius about authorities, rules, regulations. And this aspect for you, lovely Virgos, is here from your 6th house Saturn to the 9th house Uranus. Now, at the end of the video, there is a list of all these dates. So don't worry about having to remember or in Virgo manner, make a list of the dates. So this square is about you looking at your work practices, your daily habits. The 6th house has to do with what you do daily, what you do maybe a little robotically. Sometimes, you know, routines, you can be doing your teeth and you didn't know you did your teeth. And then this square to Uranus in the 9th, this awakening of your spiritual world, finding more meaning in your life. This whole coronavirus has triggered a need for meaning, a need for something more, something that takes us now to a deeper level with our connections with people, with our world, with the earth, with the stars. It's got to be more substance. So there's a breaking out now going on for you from the things that restrict you. Think about the things where you feel suffocated, you can't breathe, you feel limited, you feel restricted. These might be external things, and I would think very carefully about any work responsibilities that you take on, family responsibilities. Make sure you only really take on that which you feel that you can put a joyful heart into. If you don't feel you can put a joyful heart into something, you might want to reconsider it. You might want to say, I think I'll have to say no on that, because Saturn is very much about boundaries. In Saturn in Aquarius is boundaries to your freedom. So you might have to say at work, this is too much. This is what I'm willing to do. I'm not willing to do any more. You might be breaking out of being employed and moving into self-employment. You might be looking at, what is it I need to learn? The Uranus in this 9th house. Where am I limiting myself? Maybe there's something I've always wanted to study. Now is the time this year to break out of that restriction. Maybe there's something I've always wanted to teach. Maybe I want to have a career as a healer in one of the esoteric arts, and I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it, but I'm going to break out. I'm going to find a way. I am going to find a way. Yes. Yes, you can hear maybe the loudspeaker in the background. Just where have you got to speak out loud for what's important to you and not limit yourself? All too often there's a tendency to limit yourself and say, well, I can't do that. I'm not educated enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm too fat. I'm too this. Always arguing for your limitations. And Virgo, you can be a very critical sign. And being critical can be very, very useful. But often you are very self-critical, and you therefore limit yourself in that self-criticism. So it's a time with this square to break out of that, to free yourself, to be able to move more into what Uranus in Taurus, what are your important values now? For many of you, your values have changed with all this COVID situation. You want something different. You want something new. You don't want to feel limited anymore. You want to feel as though your life has a wonderful future. Uranus is about creating a wide open future with many avenues of possibility. So it's learning to be a little more flexible, learning to move with that flow. And many of you will be changing career, changing job. Certainly during this year. On January the 7th, we got Mars coming into your 9th house. It's been there in the 8th for many months. So finally to the 9th, it's going to be there until beginning of March. In the 9th, wonderful time for pursuing your spiritual journey. Actively. It might be studying astrology, numerology, tarot, healing, writing, whatever it is. Actively pursuing it. That's what the Mars energy is about. And you might be traveling. You might be going overseas. You might say, to hell with it, I want to move overseas. I'm ready to move home. I'm going. Now, on May the 15th, we've got Jupiter coming to join Neptune in your relationship house. Oh boy, until the end of July. And at the end of the year, Jupiter will come back in that house. But until between the middle of May and end of July, this is a wonderful time for meeting somebody, for a soul connection, a twin flame connection, or just a lovely relationship with great heart, with great love involved. Maybe somebody that you meet that you just feel, I know this person, I feel so safe with this person. On the 28th of July, Jupiter goes back here until the end of the year, and then we'll go back into the relationship house again, maybe triggering a marriage. You might get married, you might get into a very serious relationship or deepen an existing one. On May the 29th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening here in your 4th house. And on June 10th, a solar eclipse happening in the 10th. So many of you might be thinking of moving, changing your environment. You might be moving across states. You might be moving just around the corner. You might be moving across country. But you're looking for changes. There might be changes to your family situation, and changes to your work and what it is that you want to do in your work in the world. And whether you're retired or not, doesn't matter. You still, if you're alive, you've got some work to do in this world. You've got something to contribute, to give, to express, to share. And this is what's being triggered by these eclipses. On November 19th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening here in this 9th house. And on December the 4th, another a solar eclipse happening here in the 4th. So towards the end of the year, another big push for you to really develop the spiritual part of your world. You might start to learn a new language. You might meet up with somebody, even have a romance with somebody from a different culture to you. You might find yourself reaching out to new kinds of friendships, new communities of people that you never thought you would. And you find you've got things in common with them, and it's amazingly exciting. You might be collaborating with a group of people for a common cause that matters. And again, this solar eclipse on December 4th, new beginnings as far as home is concerned, your home environment. So if you're not already thinking about moving, it might come during this year for you or into next year, lovely Virgos. The Mercury retrogrades are all in air signs this year, encouraging us to learn how to be better communicators, how to listen more, how to listen to somebody else's perspective. And that may also be one of the challenges for you this year, lovely Virgos. But you may have some wonderful connections on that mental level, because you're a very mental sign, that could be very fulfilling and very energizing and uplifting. So I want to thank those of you who generously contribute to this channel on Patreon. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subbing. Bye for now.